sort of realizing the harsh realities of life. 6 months ago when people told me, oh, if you don't go to university, then what else will you have? And I dismissed it all as just fear-mongering, but now I know. Now I've been sort of punched in the mouth and I know, a degree saves you from this. There's no guarantee about you going to work every day happy and fulfilled, having got a degree, but it saves you from jobs like these. Look, man, I'm an intelligent guy and I should take every opportunity afforded to me. I know now, so I'm glad, I guess.
Bread.
This job, man.
Thank you. Do you like it?
I love the more than the blonde one. Yeah, it's very smart.
Thank you.
Like a sexy secretary.
Like a sexy secretary.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
Ooh,
use this
sexy
job as a
secretary.
reception.
Okay.
I need you. What's
You need
doing?
me.
He's gonna kill you.
Damn. I'm looking good.
Oh, I got a fat head. That's my break over. You go back up. I mean, really, I don't have a lot of problems with this job. But there's one thing. If you don't like bread, or if you're celiac, why the
Bread.
would you go to a
Bread.
bakery? What the
Bread.
Like, I want scrambled eggs on toast, but no bread. That's eggs, mate. That's just eggs. But apart from that, it's okay. Yes, it's alright. I hope to God I can look back at this sort of time in my life and think, what were you so worried about, man? Such a small drop in the pond. Please, future James, if you're looking at this, be laughing, please. Go to uni, but take the risks. The idea of university has been the one thing that has caused me the most pain over the last 2 years. The number of nights I've spent at 3 in the morning whimpering in the corner about this one decision is stupid. You know how stupid? Really, really stupid. I took this gap year to escape, I think. The thought process behind this anxiety being that if I went to university, any creative dream I had would be crushed. My goal is to play my songs around the world, which begs the question, where does university fit into that? I've always liked the idea of going to university, first in my family, and it's undeniable that it has an air of prestige about it. And so we come to our first major question. Can you go to university and still become a successful musician? I'm going to have faith in the idea that with hard work and due diligence, I can have both. Is that the right decision? Who knows? It's going to take a lifetime to find out. One of the mentors I found online is Jordan Peterson, and he has an interesting idea about utilizing fear. Basically, instead of staring you in the face and paralyzing you, you make it so that your fear is behind you, chasing you, making you run towards your goals that bit faster.
One of the things you see with people all the time is that maybe they're trying to stumble forward towards their ideal, as poorly defined as it might be, but then they're afraid, right? They're afraid about what they might encounter, and that stops them, because fear does stop people. It freezes you like a prey animal, and so people move ahead, but then they get afraid, and then they stop moving ahead. And that's not so good, because negative emotion is a really powerful motivator. So we're more motivated by negative emotion than positive emotion. That's, I think, because we can only be so happy, but we can really be suffering and dead, you know? So we have to pay more attention to the negative. And that's bad, because the negative can stop you. So then you think, okay, well, I'm trying to make this decision. I'm going to go try to do something difficult. And isn't that terrifying? And then you think, yeah, but wait a minute. What's really terrifying is not doing it. Think about your insufficiencies by your own definition, right? About the things that you do that you shouldn't do, that you know you shouldn't do beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? There's some things like that. And that's bad habits and poor aim and all of the resentment and hatred and aggression and unresolved conflicts and all those things. And then think, okay, those things get the upper hand, man. They get the upper hand and they take you the worst possible place you could go in the next 3 to 5 years. What exactly does that look like? And so you sketch all that out and you think, hey, I don't want to go there. And so the next time that a temptation comes up, you think, well, it'd be a lot better for me if I didn't succumb to this temptation. It's like, that's kind of weak, eh? You'd look a little better if you didn't eat like a cheesecake a day or something like that. You know, That's something, but it's not the same as I'm going to have diabetes and I'm going to lose my damn leg in 5 years if I don't get my eating under control. That's motivating. Well, so you want to get your fear behind you, right? You want to get it behind you where it's pushing you forward instead of in front of you where it's stopping you. And you get your fear behind you, pushing you forward by actually thinking through the consequences of not putting your life together. And the least of those is that you waste it and suffer, right? Because you're going to suffer anyways, man.
I never really got that. I defaulted in the kind of generic, I'll be depressed, I'll have no friends, I'll be alone and broke. But with these months of hardship, I think I found it. My biggest fear in going to university is that I will finish in debt, having made no progress with my creative aims, and knowing I wasn't brave enough to say no. I'll be on my deathbed, fully aware that I was at this crossroad and took the path of least resistance. I'll work the same soul-destroying job, broke and alone. We're keeping it light today, that's good. But the idea being to strive towards musical success whilst also running from the abyss. In this sense, if not for the academic, personally enriching experience university is cut out to be, at the very least it's a buffer period. Admittedly an expensive one, but nevertheless, it's 4 years where I just have to get my bread together. If I really think about it, the idea would be to go to university and then proceed into a creative career of freedom. And so we come to our second question. How can I best progress with music whilst at university? Simple answer being discipline. Oh yeah. Being aware of the debt I'm going to accrue and that I chose this path myself, I'll push myself to create. It'll be my responsibility to sharpen myself up, to achieve the creative goals I want to achieve, and also become the person who I want to become. It's on me. I feel like this whole video is just me justifying my life decisions to you, but this has caused me a lot of distress, so I think it's worth sharing. I'm realizing now that everyone just has their own perspective. As people, we are so unique in each of our characters, so we need equally unique paths of development. I'm still following my heart. I'm still being true to myself, eager to make the most out of my life. Going to university doesn't change that. If anything, hopefully it'll help me. I want to get out of my childhood home. I have to grow up. Also, 2 ways to end this. Ready? My A-levels, Spanish, English literature, politics. Now, this year, part-time job, part-time job, part-time job, all of this. Battle scars right here. See you in a bit. Oh. Yeah. I think online there's a really big growing rhetoric about how college and university is a scam and it doesn't really prepare you for the modern working world. And of course, you know, there's bound to be lots of truth in that, but I think I was a bit possessed by that. You know, how it came to a point where I was being rebellious just for the sake of being rebellious, not because I was fighting for anything that was justified within myself. And almost in a prideful way, it's almost as if when I'm coming back to the decision of going to university and saying, yeah, that probably is the right decision for me, a part of me says, you're admitting defeat, which is really bad. But I'm now coming to the conclusion that I've got to grow up, man. I've got to become a man. I've got to get out of this house. I've got to really make something of myself. I think I just have to believe that I deserve that more. I've been working 40 hours a week at a job, but I think generally I haven't been busy enough, I don't think. I was talking to the careers lady at our school. I graduated, from high school, secondary school a year ago, but I was talking to her about my options going forward. And she told me the exact same thing, you know. She said, it looks as though, James, there's going to be a conflict between your academic side and how you're probably more of an academic than most musicians, and your musical side. You're probably more musical than most academics. And how you're going to try and reconcile both sides of the same coin. And she said, you can do both, James. She's worked in bigwig corporations and all kinds of private schools, and she says, you know, one thing I've noticed, especially with public school students, is that they really dedicate themselves to one thing, which is great. You have something to drive you. But when that one thing falters, music, sports, academics, so does your well-being, so do you. And she said, the reason why a lot of these private school students are doing well is that, their schedules are so jam-packed. They're doing something every minute of the day. And they become more well-rounded people because of it. So I think not putting all my eggs in one basket with music could be the right thing for me. The more thinking I do about this topic, the more I realise just the quicker I'm on the course, the better. Once I'm on the course, all of these possibilities about any alternative options I may have apart from university just die immediately. And my world becomes a lot simpler. So hopefully as soon as I get on a course and I can focus on what's right ahead of me, what's right in front of me, which will be good. I'm resolved, I can have both. It's just that there's still a lingering anxiety because that idea it's an honourable goal, but it's a formidable one as well. And you can't help but feel small in the face of it. But I think I'm making the right decision. Alright. Fresh Trim James signing out.